which is weird.
I mean, aren't we always saying screw yous at editing
Yeah, we
Zephyr,
are.
like with everything?
But we're not using the slurs because we don't know when the fifth and that we can't curse for the first 15 seconds of a YouTube video now. So until we're actually going,
that's been a thing for a while. But
no,
there
was a recent change like at the beginning of the year that's fucked over a lot of people.
I thought the ruling was it was like you're not allowed to curse for the first 30 seconds, or if you do, you've got to bleep it out.
So the thing is that was basically if your content hits certain demographics, you need to be careful with that. Now, if they're swearing within the first 15 seconds of a video, instantly age restricted. Which means in some territories some people cannot watch your content because you can't watch an 18 plus video without having your Google account verified, and in some territories to verify your Google account you need to send your private information to Google, which understandably some people don't want to fucking do.
That is completely understandable.
So, and obviously if there's like prolific swearing throughout, then they also get pissy, but that's fine because with D&D there's not really enough to class it as prolific, and in the edited shit I can just cut that stuff out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so first 15 seconds we got to be careful. The rest of it, right as daisies, because I don't want your shit getting age restricted because it fucks it in the algorithm.
So we know the start of the video is not now.
Well, it is because I've spoken for longer than 15 seconds.
Fair enough. You're gonna add this entire rant into the session. Sweet.
Yeah. I am.
Take it away,
Does this mean we can swear now?
Yes, you can swear now. Oh, fuck! Thank you.
May one swear in Swedish?
No, because it picks up.
Mickey's out here saying the one word that you cannot say on YouTube.
So Mahez, we're gonna have to add something to the list of things I need notes on.
Yep.
That's like one of the few words that you can't say on YouTube that we're comfortable saying. Because most of the other ones are the R word, the R slur, the F slur, the N slur, all that stuff. Like, that's the one that we're fine with saying, Mickey. But I still have to cut it.
But what about...
So can we, or can we not curse?
No, we can curse.
Oh, you can curse, yeah. Curse your heart's content.
I curse your family and your cow.
Just remember, if you say it means extra work for Zephyr.
Stop saying it! Also, Seb, if you say it in Swedish, you have to tell me because it still picks up in other languages.
Yeah.
Because
you want to know the best part about that, Zeph?
What?
Malachi's instance of it is almost a direct minute after Mickey's. Down to the second.
Fucking hell.
Amazing.
Oh my god. But yeah, Seb, if you do say see you next Tuesday in Swedish, please give me a timestamp. Because we will get age restricted. I say we.
What?
Let's do. Hi.
Hold on. We'll get age restricted if I say "see you next Tuesday" in Swedish.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's a multinational company.
Yeah,
it's a very bad no word here in America. Like, can't say it.
Yeah, no, it's blacklisted. It's a blacklisted word.
Why?
America.
Yes.
We hate that word. We cannot.
Trust me, if YouTube was run by Australians, there wouldn't be a problem with it.
Quite literally.
It is not found anywhere in our media. Like, if it is bleeped out. Like, it is that. Like we can say fuck, no issue on any of our TV shows. But the second you put that word in there, you're bleeped out. Because it's that disgusting of a word here in America.
I love the dragons in my chat trying to bait the word out again.
What? No, I'm still confused. Because why am I not allowed to say "see you next Tuesday" in Swedish?
No, because see you next Tuesday is code for the word. Because see you next Tuesday T. Like, I'm avoiding saying it because I don't want people to I don't want this to get blacklisted. I want Malachi to grow.
But
I'm tempted to make this the whole opening bit.
can I say?
Seb, just message me a list of words that you're not sure if you can or can't say, and I'll give you yes or no for them all.
Okay,
Do
I
it
will
that way.
try and find the Swedish fucking. I
You're gonna
forgot
have
what
to
it's
give me
What if-
translation.
Dictionary.
What if we say shunt?
No. Well, actually,
That's
fun fact,
okay.
shunt is a word.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah.
You fucking shunt! You better not!
I love how people are now messaging me being like, "Hey Seb, this is what it means."
I don't. This
Dra-
is like I don't
Dragon?
know because the
Dragon,
Dragon,
will the
no,
algorithm-
I'm not stupid.
Dragon. It's a nice attempt.
The thing is, I'm worried that because the initial algorithm is run by robots, is Shunt gonna get picked up? I don't know. I guess we're gonna
We're
find
about
out.
to find out, yeah. We
I'm gonna-
absolutely are
Hold
about to
on.
find out.
Let me use it in the correct term in which I've seen. All right, guys, he's going under. We're gonna have to install a shunt into his heart. Grey's Anatomy for you. There you go. Now we've used it the right way. They can't pick it up.
Well, no, but they still can.
Anyway,
it just
shall
means-
we
yeah.
get started?
Yeah, because I've got somewhere I'm gonna be late now for the thing I do after this, but that's fine. Welcome to D&D, motherfuckers. I'm making that whole first bit of short out of protest to YouTube. So
Sounds wonderful.
this is all gonna. Hi, this is Adventure as a Cat. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I've completely zoned out. Introduce yourself, Malachi, please. Let me find myself.
Hi, I'm Malachi. I'm a centaur. I don't have a name.
We've also got Mickey.
Hi, I'm Mickey. I play Zakaria. That's it.
She
We've
has a
also
name.
got Seb.
Hello, I am Seb. I play Sverkr Brokerson. I am dwarf, specifically Durgar.
We've also got Marhez.
Hi, I'm Mahez. I'm also an Aussie. I'm playing a character called Greet Windsun, which is basically a flying monkey.
And then there's me. I run this shit, quote unquote. We use the word run in very exaggerated terms.
I know,
Well,
we constantly get away from him. He's screaming at us to stop so we can catch up, but you know.
Yeah, there.
Well,
there
you know,
there it is. There
Our
it is.
our illustrious DM is on a roll.
Only if it's a downhill slope.
I will walk away, and you will have 3 hours.
No,
of just
you
a-
won't.
Wait, I don't
No,
think
I
you can
will.
walk away.
You might wheel away.
No. Give him a little bit more than that. He might crutch away.
Okay. Maybe you just hop down and start crawling.
If they
Dear.
want 3 hours of just pure improv without me, they're going the right way about it. Oh my god! Right, where we left our group of delinquents, I think we'll call them. They were in the nearby village of Silverbark, investigating murdered cattle.
No.
Yeah, that's where we started.
Oh wait, yes, that's
That
where we
was-
started. Sorry.
Yeah.
You said when we left, so sorry.
Where we left it, they were investigating murdered cattle. They were not sure what kind of creature performs these atrocious killings, but we know as much as one was done for feeding whilst the others were done for sport. They then, not really knowing how to go forward, made their way back to campus in order to inform some of the teachers so that an investigation could be begun before going down into the dungeons of Myrmidon to serve detention. There, they found all manner of creatures, from undead to fey, as well as the great tree that lurks in the stone, fueled by blood. They received 2 orbs, one containing the thought-missing topaz stone of Zakaria's possession, the other the key to leave the dungeon. They did try and leave through a mysterious portal at the back of the room, but that didn't go well for either of the people who attempted it. Once they made their way back to the dormitories, they slept. They were uninterrupted, calm and peaceful. And when they woke up, they got on the chariots. Our centaur friend having to be teleported to school by his guardian. And when they arrived, they came to realize that they were a part of the opening assembly for the first day of Myrmidon Academy. Letting a wave of confusion rush over the group, you sort of sit in your houses as students begin to disperse, ready to go to their first classes. The 4 of you are the last to leave this giant stone amphitheater, the teachers making their way and collecting their things, manticores and gargoyles from up top returning to their duties, and the plague doctor simply walking away. The floor is open.
I'm going to look around to see if I can find my, let's call them partners in crime from yesterday. Do I see anyone?
You do see them. You see the centaur and Zakaria sat next to each other. You see Greet sat on his own in the Gale House area.
Okay. Would any of them be looking in my direction at this moment? I ask everyone else.
Is anyone looking towards Sverkr?
The centaur's
No, I'm
probably
currently
just talking
sitting
to
just
Zakaria.
very confused because wasn't orientation supposed to be technically what we missed yesterday when, falling out of the sky and such?
In theory.
I have a question
Yep.
for the DM. We still have our memories of going through the previous day and all of our items from the
Well,
previous day, correct?
if you would one by one refresh your character sheets.
Oh, you son of a...
Mickey, you may need to refresh yours a couple of times.
Yeah, there it is.
You will notice that whilst your items are missing, the gold you've spent has not returned to you.
This is what we in the business would call
You
bullshit.
missed one of my items, so I went ahead and got it for you.
Yeah, it may have been the refresh. But you will notice. But you, Zakaria, will know that when you got off the chariot, you had those things. You had the books given to you by the centaur. You had your topaz stone, which is still in your possession. You had the crossbow. When you sat down, Sverkr, you had your things, as did you, Greet, as did you, Mr. Centaur.
So yeah, it'd be literally a case in my case of go to stand up, go, wait a minute.
Yep.
Why do I feel lighter?
Yep.
Well then.
Zverkr, you of all people will be the first to realize that
Yep.
your money is still the same as it was with your family's background.
I hmm. Hmm. Fuck it. I'm going to look around just to ensure that for somehow I didn't just drop everything somewhere, either the objects or extra money laying around somewhere that I might have accidentally dropped. I
Roll me
assume.
investigation.
All right. Investigation. Right, I need to double check something real quick. Let's see. Okay, good. It's only attack and perception. How much investigation? Is 14.
You know for certain that you wouldn't have dropped them, and you sort of look around, and there's no real sign that people have stolen them. The only real thing that comes to your mind is that one of the Manticore statues is not where it should be. There along the sides of the amphitheater, there are these 3 pillars where a Manticore sits. You knowing Manticores that are in stone but can come to life at will. One of them is not on their pillar. They are missing.
Okay. Well then. Question, how long do we have until our first lesson?
It will be starting imminently.
Okay, in that case I will start making my way towards the classroom.
Okay. From across the amphitheater, the 3 of you will see Sverkr looking around a little bit, perplexed look on his face before getting up, gathering his school equipment, and making his way to class. You'll all notice that the things he had on him for the detention last night are not on his person.
Same with anybody else around, really, I'm guessing, if I look around at the other 2.
Very much the same.
Yep. Well, that's something I am definitely going to work on later. I do not want to be late for class because I do not want another round of detention.
Alright.
I was feeling the same way.
And Zakaria?
Zakaria is going to go to class as well.
Okay. You all make your way to the chronicling classroom. A very familiar environment, a very airy environment, for lack of better words. And whilst the rest of the class are kind of fumbling around, the 3 bipedals of the group, shall we say, you instantly make your way to the desks you were sat at yesterday, whilst everyone else is kind of trying to decide where they want to sit. Malachi, your character will make his way to the large desk at the back of the room that has been set up for him. Roll me dexterity.
Here we go again.
With advantage.
Okay. With advantage, that becomes 22.
This time, you do not bump into the orc student that is sitting close by to you. I mean, you can choose to fail if you want.
I might choose to fail.
So, Zakaria, you will sort of look over at Ponyboy. You see, like, he knows where to go, but then his eye catches the orc student, and you can see him sort of almost intentionally step to the side a little bit, bumping into the orc, and the orc will immediately turn around at you, Mr. Centaur. What do you think you're doing, huh?
Apologies. Quite a wide load I have. Sorry.
You better watch yourself, horse.
Oh.
Gonna walk off.
You'll see the orc kind of stare you down, sort of almost sizing you up a little bit before he takes his seat. And you'll notice him sort of reach around the back of his head and pull out this large great axe. Sverkr, roll me intelligence.
Oh, boy. And just straight intelligence, eh?
Straight intelligence.
Intelligence, that is... Oh, 14.
That axe,
So close to being 20.
that axe is of dwarven make.
Oh. How good quality are we talking?
You recognize the family.
Oh, boy.
It is your family's rival. The Emberhearts.
Mmm.
You recognize specifically the sort of signature of their makes is this little, what looks to be a clearly fake ruby to you, but what looks to be a ruby hanging from the pommel of the axe by a little leather strip.
Okay. Where am I sitting in relation to this orc? Like, how far away?
You're sat on the same row, but on the other end of the room.
Okay.
But it's a relatively large classroom, but it's also quite sort of large vertically, so sound does echo a little bit and voices travel.
Okay. I am going to dedicate this orc to memory and make a mental note that I will not forget this.
Vertica will remember this.
Sverkr will remember this.
All right. As you all sit down, Professor Xena will make their way to the front of the class. You'll sort of remember quite a short and stout woman who sort of stands up on her stool, and she will give the exact same speech she gave the day before. She will talk about how, some may not value this class as much as martial or magic training, but without her class, you cannot hope to pass at the end of your studies. And then you will all perform the very same study period that you did the day before. You are studying camping, basic survival tactics, where to camp, where not to camp, and sort of how to tie certain knots. And of course, at the end of this class comes a test. I'd like you to all roll survival with advantage.
Natural 20 for 23.
24.
Zakaria and Greet.
Dirty 20.
I'm rolling. I'll let you
That's
know.
alright. Let's take your time. Well, suffice to say, the three of you have passed with flying colours. Perfect scores all around. And Xena will kind of go around one by one, looking at your scores, and she's very impressed by all of you. Even it being your first day, you are the only three, so far at least, to get full marks. You each earn a point for your house.
Sorry, very quickly. Mickey, did you want to try Google Dice?
The only issue with that is I don't know what dice are used for like each like thing.
So all that
Like
information will
what
be
we're
on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Up to you. I just thought, yeah. I just remember we spoke about that and as a viable option.
With advantage, I got 21.
You as well pass with flying colors, and Xena will come over to you, and again, she's very impressed. You know, she doesn't expect very much higher than 16, 17 on the first day, and you as well gain a point for House Ember. Once you're coming towards the end of the class, since you four have all been granted top marks, you are allowed to leave a little bit early, as the end of the class is designed more so for going over your wrong answers and getting ready. You are told that your lesson tomorrow will be on berries and scavenging for food on when you're out camping. But other than that, the four of you are free to go. The question is, do you wish to leave?
I'll actually politely excuse myself.
Okay.
Where is Zakaria in relation to the centaur?
Zakaria is a couple seats in front of you.
Seats in front. Okay.
So, Greet, if you are excusing yourself, where do you plan on going?
I'm going to head to the library.
Okay. Knowing that, you know, you're leaving early, you'll have about 45 minutes before your next class, which is martial training. So you've got quite a bit of time and you'll be able to make it over to the library quite quickly. Sverkr, Mr. Centaur, and Zakaria, would you like to leave? Would you like to stay?
I just realized that I have made some huge mistakes. I forgot that I had 1 point of exhaustion. I have forgotten to roll with disadvantage.
We'll allow it for the beginning here.
I apologize greatly.
I will head over to Zakaria.
Okay. Zakaria, you hear a very familiar, sort of heavy sound as Ponyboy walks up next to your desk.
Since we're free to leave, we could get started on the homework for tomorrow if you want. We could head to the library.
Zakaria will look up at Ponyboy and say, "Yeah, that sounds good. I wanted to go get some books anyways." And then I'll stand up and I'll motion to, like, let's go.
Yeah.
Alright. At Sverkr, you will see the two Ember students leaving the room. Would you like to stay or would you like to leave as well?
I think I'll leave. I'll try and go with them.
Okay. Malachi, take it.
Take it?
Yeah, you sound like you want to say something.
No.
Okay.
Internal monologue, but no.
Okay. In which case, you will see Sverkr kind of attach himself to the two of you as you're walking out and making your way to the library. Either of you want to respond, you're free to do so.
So, what do you two make of this?
Oh, look at you. I hope that we're talking about the same thing.
More
This is
than
weird.
likely. Well, it's certainly odd, but
I was more well rested yesterday than I am today. Or, well, today than I was
yes,
today.
it's. I can only assume it has something to do with the detention. But I really don't know. But I don't really want to ask about it, because if it is in regards to detention, then they know we got detention, and
I think they might already be aware.
it's possible.
One of the statues was missing, you know, the living ones.
I see.
Now, I don't know whether it was there when we got to the assembly, but when we left, it was gone, and so was all our stuff. Except for the money we paid for that stuff.
Well, one final punishment for the detention, I suppose. An incentive not to get it again.
Oh, as if imminent death isn't punishment enough. Assholes. Well, then the big question is, since we're doing this charade all over again, I will turn to Zakaria. Could I possibly have a look at the stone? I hold out the hand very hopefully. A little hesitantly, but hopefully.
Zakaria will shake her head and refuse to give you the stone.
Yeah, out of
Sverkr
curiosity,
will...
I want clarification on something. Didn't you leave the stone behind?
Yeah, I left it on the nightstand. I didn't have it on me. So I don't know if Zephyr remembered that and just made it.
Would you like to
appear,
check would you like to check
or-
for your stone?
Yeah, I'll check for my stone.
It's in your pocket.
Yep, no.
Okay.
Zakaria's gonna refuse to let anyone touch the stone.
Sverkr will very obviously try not to pout. He will walk with his head held high and sweating from one ear. I mean, eye. Ugh. It's not a single tear. What are you talking about? I'm just sweating. My eye is warm.
I'm not sure if any of you noticed. Do you remember that orc that I bumped into yesterday?
Oh, I remember.
I decided to bump into him again today. I feel as though if there's a chance that we can avoid letting people know that we had detention, if for whatever, whoever knows whatever, but if we can avoid letting people know, I think it's possibly more beneficial to us. However,
yes,
there is still a couple of problems. We know that cattle were attacked And we
This is
know,
true.
well, Zakaria and I know of somebody else who is going to need some help.
Really?
I'm not 100% sure, which choices to make.
This is...
Are we
It is a
still walking to the
conundrum.
library, or did we make it to the library at this point?
Yeah, this is on the way to the library.
Okay. All right. So Zakaria is gonna turn to the centaur and say, I don't think you should have ran into him, especially deliberately, as we were told to right our wrongs in order to move forward. And if everyone else is under the impression that this is our first day, we've been given a do-over, which doesn't mean to do it the same. It means to do it over and do it right this time. So I think we should avoid our mistakes that we made yesterday.
You do bring up a valid point. Again, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this day, so made a judgment call.
Well, if a bunch of stones rise from the ground and turn into a certain guardian, try to be courteous.
Fair enough.
Great. Having
Yep.
been the first to leave, you're the first to arrive at the library. You open it, and it's this massive marble room on the inside initially, and you go sort of through that lobby, and you see a myriad of books stretching down in aisles, as well as a few tables to in order to sit down and study. What would you like to look for?
A librarian.
There is one.
Excellent.
Believe it or not.
Librarian in a library? What?
You sort of go to the front desk, and you see there sort of a Goliath who looks rather old. Grey hair going down the back of her head, and sort of tied into two braids that go almost around the entirety of her arms. And she will look up at you from a scroll that she is reading. How can I help you, my child?
Sorry to be a bother, miss, but I was wondering if you had any books on two particular subjects.
If I have
One
it will be here.
to do with this school's history, founding, etc., etc. Two, anything on supernatural Groundhog Days. Basically, I'm looking for anything about grand spells that will let you repeat a day, so time manipulation.
Distortion magic. Well, the history of the school I can very much help you with. I'm afraid distortion magic is in the restricted section. Professors only.
Understood. If I would still love to look at a book to do with the founding and history of the school, however.
She will pull out this sort of large, what looks to be encyclopedia, and sort of open it and flip through, go through a few pages, and you'll see on the particular page she stops at is the cover of a book, sort of imprinted on it, which looks very much like a history book about the castle itself and what it serves. She tears it out and begins folding it over until In her palm is a little paper butterfly, which with a very gentle breath she will blow and will begin flying through the aisles. And she will simply motion for you to follow.
I'll nod and thank you, miss, and then I'm going to go and follow the paper butterfly.
All right. You follow it through, and you are eventually led to this large black book with brass rings around the binding. As you pull it out, quite a hefty weight, is the legacy of the Myrmidons.
I'm then going to go find a table and start to read through it.
As you do that, our three other delinquents make their way to the library finally. Again, you'll sort of go through that lobby area that Zakaria and your centaur friend, you're quite familiar with the library at this point. You've been a couple of times. You sort of know your way around. Sverkr, as you come in and you see this myriad of... You've never seen so many books in one place in your whole life.
Well, this is Hoofs, Zakaria, is this normal? I'm just looking around at all of it.
It's a library. This is literally what it is.
I will be honest with you. In my home, well, yeah, hometown, I guess we could call it. We people aren't as charitable with knowledge. The most knowledge we have is family stuff.
Well, all of the knowledge that you could imagine is right here at your fingertips.
Okay. Well, why did we come here again?
Well,
And with that, Zakaria is going to beeline it straight to where she found the books the previous day to try and find the books again.
The books on camping and berries, if I remember right.
Yes, those
They
ones.
are exactly where they're supposed to be.
So Hoofs, what knowledge are you after?
I assume Zakaria's just found it for me. We're going to get started on the homework.
Ah,
I'm gonna head on after Zakaria.
good luck with that then.
Sverkr, what would you like to do?
Sverkr is going to try, like, on his own. He's not gonna ask the librarian for help or anything. He's just going to walk around and try and find anything about smithing.
Roll me intelligence.
Oh boy, this is gonna be horrible. Oh, okay. 16.
It takes you a little while, but you are able to kind of figure out how these books are organized. They are organized by the year they were published, and then by subject, and then by the name of the author. So after a while, you do find a sort of area on craftsmanship, and you see a plethora of books about smithing. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
I'm going to find the biggest and oldest looking one. Like, yeah, the biggest and oldest looking one he can find, and he's just going to thumb through it.
The biggest one you find, when you sort of pull it out, you notice that the book seems to have, like, initially when you were pulling out, it was quite large, and then as you hold it in your hands, it is about the size of a typical dwarvish book. your books having been slightly smaller than the average book in order to make them easier to handle. And it is a book about smithing in particular. It is about smithing with materials found so deep in the earth that you can only access them from the Underdark.
Wonderful. Well, this will be a fun read.
Okay. We will go to Greet for a moment. You're sort of reading through this book.
Yep.
And obviously you've told me what you're looking for. You find that the first half of the book isn't about the academy itself, it's about the guardians, the four Myrmidon and the headmaster. But, as you get into how the school was built and sort of the disciplines and the rules and, the ideologies that the school itself is built on, you do eventually come to disciplinary punishments. And you discover that the Myrmidon came to and landed on the belief that they would use their magic to create a dungeon below the school. Now, this dungeon has multiple uses. Obviously, it is used as, a sort of almost simulation of dungeon delving for some of the higher level students, so they can actually practice the techniques that they've learned throughout the year. It's also used as a part of the final exams that a lot of students go through. A particular dungeon will be created by the Myrmidon, and it will be given as a test. The other thing it's used for is detention. Now, when it comes to detentions, it is the idea that the Myrmidon themselves will judge the actions of the students, and the actions that led them to detention. They will also judge the actions after that initial decision. And based on all of that, they will create a battle, a fight that is worthy of the consequences for those particular students. Once the battle is completed, they will be provided a key and they will be allowed to leave the dungeon, and all scores will have been settled. It is the belief of the Myrmidon that if you die in the dungeon, that is your punishment. If you survive the detention, you have basically paid your dues. And so all teachers, guardians, or members of staff are to move on as though nothing happened.
So, in theory, according to what I'm reading, we technically did everything that was required, and
Yes.
there isn't any reason here why we should be repeating a day.
There is no inclination on any time distortion magic. There's also no mention of the tree.
That's lovely to have, read a book on the school's history. Fascinating piece of work. Got a few questions I've got for, my house guardian later. But right now I'm going to close the book and put it back where I found it because it has not answered any of the pertinent questions I have in the moment.
Okay. We will go to Zakaria and her friend, the pony boy. You two sort of going through. Did you pick up the camping book or just the book on berries?
I have not picked up either book. I'm still trying to decide whether or not I actually want to touch them.
Okay. Then the floor is open to the two of you.
Every time I hear somebody refer to Malachi's centaur as Ponyboy, I'm picturing like a Shetland centaur.
Well, I won't be able to get that image out of my head now.
Uh.
Oh no, Sverkr got his ass
You know,
handed to him by a
pride-
Shetland centaur.
Pride and honor of a full-blooded centaur, only miniature size.
And Sverkr got his fucking ass handed to him by.
I will say that the centaur's breed has been previously established as not that.
Yeah, we already established it
Fan
as a horse prostitute and a lonely man.
Motherfucker.
Every session, it has to come up every session.
I'm never gonna hear the end of this.
It's gonna get to the point where it's every time we hear horse prostitute take a shot, we'll be fucking gone in an hour.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be drunk every fucking session.
Anytime someone says horse prostitute, I will take a shot. Please keep me out of the hospital.
Anyway,
the floor remains open.
Zakaria, are you all right?
I don't know if we should take these books. I don't know if we should interact with the items that we interacted with yesterday. I'm conflicted.
Would you, as per what you said earlier, would you call this a wrongdoing?
No, not necessarily a wrongdoing, but with the stone and how it. And then with that, she's going to realize what she said, and she's not going to say anything more. She's just going to fall silent.
Where is Sverker's not near us, is he?
Sverkr is out of sight.
Same with Greed?
Sverkr,
You can see Greed. Greed is sat at one of the tables at the end of the aisles. So the way it kind of is, you have the desk, then you've got aisles and aisles of books, and at the end of all those aisles is a large area with tables.
Yep.
Sverkr is currently sitting in one of those aisles reading a book, surrounded by more books that he would very much like to read someday.
Zakaria. Obviously, I'm not going to pry if you don't want me to. However, should you need to speak, it would stay between us. Would you feel more comfortable if I were to be the one to interact with these books instead of you?
I think so. I think that's what needs to happen.
I'll just point out which ones it is.
I'll point to the camping book and then to the berry book.
Alright, I'll grab those books and keep them on my persons.
All right, you have a book on camping and a book on berries.
Books I
And
have.
I'd like you both to roll me perception.
That's a 16.
We will give Zakaria a moment.
Dip, 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 dip.
For a second, I thought he was going to go for the Jeopardy theme, but then he just
that's
went
what
off
I
on
was-
something
that's what I
random.
was expecting.
I
Yeah.
was kind of upset when he didn't.
Be honest, I was thinking that at first, but then halfway through, my brain just went blank on how it is supposed to go. So
Like, oh, we need to educate you.
no, I know how it goes. I just momentarily forgot.
You clearly don't.
Oof. They've just come through.
Sorry, I have to roll with a disadvantage because I'm exhausted.
Hey, so it's Sverkr.
But we're on a second roll. Give me like
Oh,
a
they've
second.
both come through.
It's almost
Someone
done.
might have
It's
to actually
almost
come and
done.
check on Zerker. He might have fallen asleep reading the book.
Zakaria, yeah, Mickey, Jesus. I can actually see both of your outcomes, and I can tell you now the second one's lower than the first.
No, both of them are 7. So even with disadvantage, I got 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the first one you rolled was a 5. The second one was a 2 plus 5.
Either way.
No,
Mr.
they're
Stencil,
both 5 plus 2. But yeah, either way, it's still a 7.
Mr. Centaur, you will see, like, sort of right at the back of the room, you see a familiar kobold, seemingly peeping through a keyhole.
Oh boy.
Okay, Zakaria. Yesterday, and they'll do like the little quotation marks, you wanted to help the kobold. Today, that kobold is going to make the same mistakes. What are your thoughts? Do we intervene now? Or do we help later? Or just let them suffer their own consequences?
We can intervene now, or we can let them suffer their own consequences. But I don't know about you, but I do not plan on being here this evening.
That is perfectly reasonable. I can see the kobold.
I think I don't know, because we may intervene and it's gonna go one of 2 ways. He listens and he doesn't do it and he's like, yo, thank you. Or he freaks out because how would we know that? And the fact that we're in a time loop is revealed to somebody who's outside of it. And that could have worse consequences. I think it might be best that we let them make their own choices and deal with the consequences of their own actions.
At the risk of their own death?
Being at this school has a risk of death every day. If you're stupid enough to put yourself in a situation beyond what they're putting us in, that's on you.
Fair enough. I'll go back to reading the last parts of, like, basically where I was up to in the book.
Okay. At which point we will go to Sverkr. And Sverkr, you are currently deep in reading about all these Underdark materials. And sort of the magical properties that some of them hold. Would you like to keep reading or do something else?
I think I'm going to close the book for now. I will make a note to, at some later date, if time will allow us to continue, I will read more on it at a later date. I'll put the book back, and I will try and find my the partners in crime, so to say.
You are able to see Greet sat at a table currently. You can't see Zakaria or Hooves.
I will go to greet. I will greet.
All right. Greet, as you're kind of going through the last pages of the book that interest you, Sverka will be sort of coming up to you.
Unless he says something to me, I'm basically keeping my nose in a book.
Good day.
Ah, Zerka,
Is that an
found what you
interesting
were
book?
after in the library?
Well, sadly, they have a bit. Well, they have quite the large collection of books, more than I had anticipated. So, yes, I found what I was looking for. I found more of it than I am capable of reading at the moment.
You are definitely having more progress than I am then.
What are you reading about?
The school and its history. I was trying to find any clues as to why this and digester around.
And have you found anything?
Nothing concrete. I mean, I've got a couple of leads, but everything in here suggests that today should be tomorrow, if you know what I mean.
Fucking course. Well then, Well then. Any idea as to what might have caused today to be yesterday?
Haven't the foggiest at the moment, but I am working on it.
Well, I hope you find something.
At the moment, I do believe it is time we get to our next class, even if we're a little early. I think today we should do our best to be exemplary students.
Shit! I completely forgot about class.
Language.
I will look around. Who said that? Where are you, you little?
There was a gargoyle near the
Yes,
ceiling.
yes, but I'm looking specifically to find the gargoyle that said it.
It's like it's overlooking the tables,
I am looking right at it.
and he's staring back at you.
Are you a creature turned to stone or a statue given life?
I'm a gargoyle. Read about it.
I will learn masonry and I will make a better gargoyle and I'll stomp up.
Your family can't make anything productive, Brockerson.
I'm stomping up.
You won't find what you're looking for in there, Winson.
You have an idea where I might find books to do with temporal disruption?
Question is, are you worth risking my life to break the rules?
I mean, at least going over everything I've read. Sorry. Um, the rules of nature have already been broken to cause the events that have happened.
Oh, everything that is happening is in your best interest, Windson. The headmaster has decreed it so. And we are sworn to follow his rules to uphold his tenets.
So this do-over, as it were, was of the headmaster's design?
If you enjoy the world as you know it, it was of utmost importance. I've said too much. And he will
One
return
final
to his-
question, and then I will leave you to your stone ways and not bother you again, at least for the next couple of days.
You have my attention.
Do you have any idea what happened to the possessions we were in possession of when we attended the assembly?
You will find them if you know where to look. That was not our doing.
Excellent to know. I bid you adieu, and at that point I'm going to...
Be careful, Windson. Your friend has a powerful enemy. And they will turn to stone.
Decidedly unhelpful. To the best of my knowledge, I only have 3 acquaintances, and I'm not sure any of them will call me friend. Speaking of, Zakaria! Iron shoes! As I look down the corridor. Well, the aisle of bookshelves.
You will be able to see them.
I love how we all have our own nicknames for him.
Just want someone to give me a name.
Hey, Hoops can be a name.
Well, Zakaria and Iron Shoes will hear their names being called.
The thing I find funniest is that Zephyr switches up what he calls me depending on who he's referring to.
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do.
When it's just him, he hasn't got a fucking clue. When it's
No,
in
because
relation to the Centaur and Zakaria, he calls me Ponyboy. When it's relation to Sverkr and the Centaur, he calls me Hooves. When it's in relation to Greet and the Centaur, he calls me the Steel Hooves or Iron Shoes.
Well, no, this is the thing, because everyone else only sees you and refers to you as the Centaur. Because they don't have names for you either. If I start calling you something random, you know someone's giving you a name.
Great.
So, bitch boy, you hear your name.
Fuck you.
Look, the orcs around, you know.
Fuck that orc up. Easily.
Imagine if the orc gave him that name, like properly gave him that name. Like he's now bitch boy forever.
I can tell you the.
I mean, chat could have given me the name bitch boy. We don't know yet. I have a name. It's just not yet been revealed.
Fucking damn it.
Alright, well, the two of you will hear Greet calling for you.
So, I need to.
I'll just look to him and I'll like, yeah, what's up?
Given yesterday's events, I think it would be best if we try and make sure that we're not causing any disruptions. So I was thinking of getting to class early.
That's a good idea. We should head that way now.
Hey. And Sverkr, I assume you're also going to martial training.
Oh yes, I'm storming there. I am just the most furious little dwarf, just stomping towards the martial, like wherever the site for martial training is.
You will remember it to be this sort of jousting-looking arena.
Remind me, is the arena like exposed? Like how bright is the arena? Like is it exposed to sunlight or is it like an enclosed space?
Yeah. No, it's in sunlight.
Fuck.
He's discovered the sunlight sensitivity.
I've been aware of it for a while now, but you know,
I know it well.
The way I see it, of all the races you picked one with one of the strongest weaknesses.
I mean, yes.
So that is up to you. But you will all make it to martial training.
On that note,
time.
I've got a duck tail loo real quick.
All right. Take a quick break.
Restroom break.
Did he say he had duct tape, Louis?
No. Oh my god. How's chat doing? How's everyone in there? Oh, we got Bob lurking. Nice. We love that. I know you're not meant to call out lurkers, but fuck that rule. Oh, good lord.
Hey! Dragon, hey!
It's going to be an interesting time.
Fuck the.
Oh my god.
Well, ultimately, the nap is up to Dragon.
Oh yeah.
And she tried. She really did. I'm proud of you, Dragon.
But yes, well, Malachi's way. Technically, Greet does have a name to put in the suggestion hat if he ever asks Greet. As Greet hasn't been asked, he hasn't put it forward on the fear of,
Yeah. This is exactly it.
Because we discussed this before last session.
Yep. You know the best part about that interaction?
What?
But
If Sverkr didn't swear, that wouldn't have happened.
Hey, in Dwarven society, if you don't swear semi-frequently, you're seen as a weirdo.
Well, in school, you get in trouble.
Oh, school is fucking dumb.
Language. Hey, it's the boy. He back.
So, how much duct tape do you have left? He looks very confused.
Wonder fucking why. It's because when you said duck to the loo, he thought you said duct tape Louis.
Right. No, I think the more pertinent question is, who the fuck is Louis?
The brother of Huey and Dewey.
Fair, yeah.
Why are you duct taping a ducktail?
more
Man,
pertinent question: why are we talking about ducks when Dragon here isn't in the voice chat?
Woo!
It's okay, she's in my chat, she can enjoy it there.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Marhead, have you sent Dragon a birthday duck?
No, I have not.
Send her a birthday duck.
Oh, this will go down well. I can already see.
And I quote from my chat, I fucking hate you, Marhez, and fuck off.
Oh boy. Okay.
We love ducks here. We love ducks. They are the best of birds.
I
Quack.
personally, I am.
About ducks?
Yeah.
I'm very partial to the dodo, even though it is extinct.
If I
Birthday
could
duck has been delivered.
I don't know. If I had to choose one, I'd have to go with like the goose. Like, you got either the duck or the goose. Gotta be the goose.
See, I would, but a goose gave me a very traumatic memory as a child, so.
Were you bitten by a goose?
No, but I was fucking chased by one.
I actually don't think
Geese
I've
are menaces
ever.
to society.
I don't think I've ever, in person, seen a goose.
Geese are the fucking devil. The devil. I hate them.
See,
This is
entire
I'd
game
say,
made them
I'd say
like
the
it.
same thing about swans.
The thing is, I didn't even piss off the goose. Someone else pissed it off, and it just started chasing all of us. Fucking terrified.
They really are bad. We had, I don't think when I went to college, we had birds. I don't know if they were geese or if they were a different type of like large bird, but they were all over the campus and everyone would usually leave them alone because them bitches would attack you.
Yep.
But then there were the few people that would be like, oh, let's piss off the birds and go and like kick the birds and then get everyone attacked. And I'm like, yo, y'all are the worst. I hope you leave your window down and they poop in your car.
Yeah.
Mahas, you have been cursed.
It's not the first time she's tried hitting me with that curse. It never sticks.
If I could rebrand, I'd become Duck Boy, but we'll leave that for when I get cancelled.
I mean, it's not too late.
No, because I can get cancelled. Come back 2 years later as Duck Boy, because no one will fucking remember by that point. The world have moved on.
If I ever get cancelled, I'll just come
And
back
now
as
we know
fucking
the
Quack.
real
So
reason
what
that
I'm
Zachary
hearing
won't
is I'm
give us review.
firing you and I'm hiring Duck Boy.
Yep.
I mean, that's just a sound investment.
Well, no, Myers, if you get cancelled, the thing is, we have to both get cancelled twice because we both have an underscore left.
This is true.
I had to be the underscore duck underscore boy to make sure I give myself
You've got to have your 2 extra lives.
If I'm feeling really edgy, I might do X underscore like at beginning and end.
We are idiots.
Right.
You also have 2 spellings
and
of boy. You got
interacted with all.
B-O-Y and
You should
B-O-I.
know this as a fact by now.
I mean, that's the thing, Mickey. So I'll use B-O-Y for all the normal stuff and B-O-I for when I do like OnlyFans and Pornhub and that shit.
How long do we have on that 5 years left now? It's like what, like 4
Like
years,
4 years,
and
11
230
months.
days or something like that.
What we're gonna put it in like in a diet counter.
Anyway,
Wow.
I believe we should be getting back to the D&D.
Yeah, let's beat up a dwarf. Welcome to martial training.
Gladly.
You will make it to the jousting area that is used for martial training, and you will see, standing in front and center, sort of arms behind his back, the familiar Professor Lockett. And everyone sort of begins to funnel in, and he will stand, sort of doing his regular spiel that you're used to, threatening death, and talking about how only 16% of students survive to graduate. And then again, a few students will look over to this very old-looking goblin at the end. And then he will invite, as no one, I believe, has outwardly spoken against Professor Lockett this time. Unless you'd like to, Sverkr.
Well, no, because that happened after.
Okay. He will invite anyone to step forward.
I'll step forward.
Alright. As you do, he will look you over. Zakaria. I expected as much. And who will face the tiefling?
I don't particularly wish to fight you, but if you're up for it, I'm happy to have a joust.
Not fucking Jawbreaker, the ultimate God Stopper, wanting to go against me.
That is whispered to you. So
Roll me stealth.
roll stealth. All right.
Jawbreaker.
Nah, no jawbreaker. That's a 17 plus 6 or 23.
Alright, Locket does not hear you this time.
I'll step forward.
Just the look on Zakaria's face
Oh,
is a
but
total
don't
straight up
use the
no.
sword, that means on my face the centaur again.
And the centaur will sort of like just stand as like as naturally as possible as to not give away that he does not wish to fight this one.
He will look over to Greet, who steps forward. Ah, I haven't seen one of your kind in a little while. I want to see how tough you really are. Both of you stand on the marks that I have laid out for you. When I give the signal, you'll each get the opportunity to use your strongest attack on your opponent. You knock out the enemy, I might even throw in a house point.
Say that yesterday.
When you're ready, give me the signal.
But I don't like your smile.
I'm going to just before giving the ready signal, look over and our strongest attack. You said.
I want to see the best you've got.
But does that include magic?
Are you
I'm
saying
going
this
to
out loud?
take.
Are you saying this out loud, Sverkr?
Sure. First I will mutter to myself, then I will raise my hand and say it aloud. Does that include magic?
I allow here magic that enhances your ability and strength. But nothing more than that. If you want to dance with wizards, you can go to the magic classes.
Very well.
That's
Thank
all
you
I
for your
needed to know.
Are you both ready?
Yes.
And he'll look over at you, Zakaria. And I'd like you both to roll me initiative to see who goes first.
$16 for initiative.
No.
What you get, Zakaria? Or are we still waiting?
With disadvantage, I got 14.
Greet goes first. As you see Locket raise his hand and then clench it into a fist.
Yep. I'm going to walk up and basically throw a punch.
Alrighty. You know how it rolls.
Yep. 13 on the dice. What's that? That I add? Plus 4, so 17.
Does a 17
That
hit
hits.
Zakaria?
Yep.
Roll for damage.
Unarmed strike is flat damage, so that's just 3.
Alright. And how do you strike?
Basically, I'd just be going for a gut punch.
All right, Zakaria, you're sort of forced to step back for a moment as you feel this fist suddenly colliding with your abdomen. How do you respond?
I'm gonna throw a punch back. And give me a second. Roll.
Take all the time you need.
Does a 4 hit?
A 4 does not hit.
Would you like to describe how you failed to hit them, or should I?
You can. That's okay.
So, Zakaria stumbles back a little bit, and you can see her sort of lining up, ready to throw a punch back at you. And as she goes forward, Greet, you sort of sidestep her ever so slightly, leaving your foot out, tripping Zakaria into the sand. Alright, that's enough. I expected more from you, Zakaria. Both of you back in line.
Zakaria's gonna walk with like their head like held in shame.
A little bit of sand in your hair.
Yeah, a little bit of sand.
Alright. Who's up next? Oh, yep, no, Myers, go ahead.
As I get back in position, I'm going to toss Zakaria a couple of berries and just say, apologies about the hit. These should make you feel better.
Thank you. I'm gonna accept the berries. How many did you give me?
2, which will give you a hit point to berry.
The centaur will
Of healing.
a step forward next.
Ah, fuck. Okay.
Alright. I've been wondering to see when you'd step up. And who will face this new challenger? And
Sverkr.
immediately,
Very intentionally not looking.
the orc will step forward.
Sverkr will just loud enough to that the people around him might look. You go like, yes. Hey.
Are you trying to avoid Lockett hearing you?
That is a good question. No, I'm like, he's just saying, it's just like, he doesn't even control it, just like, yes, safe.
Would you like to try and avoid him hearing you?
No, I'm happy for him hearing me.
Boy.
Rockerson, step forward.
No. I will walk forward to it. Just this, like, I am walking to the gallows.
Scared of a stallion, are we, boy?
I got kicked by a stallion once. I'd rather not experience that again.
You're in luck. Zakaria. Looks like you have a chance to redeem yourself. The centaur and the orc versus the dwarf and the tiefling.
I will look between the two of them. I will turn to Zakaria.
Zakaria will have sheepishly made her way up to the stage. Does not want to be there. Very clearly is scared.
Okay.
Also, the centaur sort of
Make
just
this clear. The orc is mine.
Sorry, could I get some clarification? Are we Am I on the team with the dwarf or Zakaria?
You're with the orc, boy.
Oh, I'm with the orc.
Yep.
Oh, I know the orc's not going to be happy about that. Very well.
On the marks. And the orc will sort of come up to you and he will pull out the greatsword.
What was an axe?
Wait, you're not he's not allowed to use your own weapons here.
Ah.
So he's pulling out a greatsword.
Wait, hold on. So there are weapons we could have grabbed.
I mean, to be fair, not one of us has actually
Entire
looked for
time.
weapons.
None of you look for them.
Where are these weapons?
There's a weapon rack.
Have I already passed it? Is there a chance I could go there and pick something?
How would you want to do that?
I mean, that depends on where the rack is in comparison to where I am right now.
The rack is by the stands.
Okay. How close to me are we talking?
Well, considering you're now on the sand, going towards the mark.
Yeah, I will go by the weapon rack to get myself a weapon.
What weapons are on the weapon rack?
What weapons are on?
So the great sword has been taken.
Yes.
So there is a warhammer.
I will take the warhammer.
There is a dagger. There is a long sword. And there's a rapier. You may temporarily add a warhammer to your inventory.
Yes. There. Alrighty then.
What are you taking, Zakaria? If anything at all?
I'm sorry, can you relist what is still on there?
The ones that are left are a dagger, a long sword, and a rapier. Because Sverkr took the warhammer, and the orc took the great sword.
So, you sure you don't want to pick up a weapon? I'm sure you'll be less dangerous with it.
Something tells me you don't want me to hurt you even more than I already can. I was sort of just gonna crack my knuckles in that moment.
I should have named you
Roll for
John
intimidation.
Roll for intimidation. Done. Can I have advantage because he's already fucking terrified of me?
We're gonna do it flat for now.
We're gonna do it flat for now. It's a 12.
Sverkr, you're not as scared as you would be because you kind of know what you're in for, but you know.
You know it's gonna hurt.
I mean, you know.
No.
So,
the orc is my target.
Hooves, you will see a light.
Yeah, but just because the orc is your target doesn't mean that you're not my target.
Well,
that's why that's what I'm trusting Zakaria to kind of be in the way of.
Hooves, you will see a light layer of sweat on Sverkr's brow. Zakaria, have you picked your weapon?
Yes, I'm gonna go with the dagger.
Okay. And as the four of you take your marks, Roll initiative.
Oh boy. Wait, shit. Oh. Well, yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
6.
So, I was about to ask, do I roll initiative with disadvantages on exhausted as well?
Because
Yes.
if it's an ability check, then yes. Because
Well, it doesn't matter because I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's throw a
Fuck it, I'm
total
gonna
of-
roll it
Okay,
again. to
okay.
start
What,
to roll
what,
with
what,
disadvantages,
what,
just
Seb,
to
for a total of what?
see. 1.
Okay.
I have rolled it again to see because I accidentally just rolled it flat and got the 1. So I rolled it again to see, would I have got another 1? No, but it's disadvantage, so I have 1.
And so we've got Zakaria, what'd you get?
I got 5.
Malachi, you're first. Malachi, you're first.
Fucking what?
I have disadvantage.
I rolled
We're
a-
both, we're both exhausted!
And I just
know.
I rolled a 4 total. I rolled a 2.
My
plus
first
3.
one was a 21, and my second one was a 5.
I rolled a 2 on the dice.
I also rolled.
I rolled a
I rolled
3.
a 2 as well.
I rolled a fucking 1!
Malachi, you're first. What are you attacking? Who are you attacking?
I'm gonna look at you, Zakaria, and I'm just gonna say, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. And you're gonna see as the centaur spins in place and throws his hooves at you.
Roll it.
Jawbreaker, jawbreaker.
Does a 17 hit?
Yes. What's my damage?
You take 10 points of damage.
I have 8! I have 8!
I'm sorry. And for my bonus action, I would like to swivel and land a punch directly into Sverkr's face.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Someone begin. Just someone play Ave Maria.
Oh no. Does a 17 hit?
What did you say it was?
17.
How much? That is.
Okay. It's okay. This one's only a 1d4 plus 4.
Oh, so I have a chance.
You take 7 points of damage.
Goody.
Oh, shit.
So it's now Zakaria's turn. So I will roll your death save. Okay.
I swear to God, if fucking Jawbreaker, the ultimate gobstopper, fucking kills me right here in martial training.
Not gonna happen.
I will leave the internet forever. Y'all will never see me again.
No,
I'm
that's
not even
gonna-
kidding.
No.
What was it Mickey said earlier about, you know,
Fucking
the death that we're putting, the risk of death we're put into every day? And the orc is now gonna go and attack Sverkr. Does a 17 hit?
It's fucking dust.
Oh, bro.
That's alright, you only take 4 damage.
Well, once again, Sverkr never got to do anything. He's down.
gone.
He is down.
I will roll Sverkr's death save. You are up with 1 hit point.
I didn't hear no bell.
You are up with 1 hit point. You got a nat 20.
He's got a chance.
What would you like to do?
Sverkr is up. Is analyzing the situation. Then he remembers, why the fuck am I thinking about this? And then he's going to fucking just take the warhammer and try and bash the fucking orc with it.
All right, roll a hit.
Sverkr remembered that. And we're in sunlight, so that's with disadvantage.
Yup. It would have been anyway because of exhaustion. But
No,
yeah.
no, that's not till level
No.
3.
I was like, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, it's only
Does
ability checks.
15 hit?
Oh, I'm used to it being the other way around. Anyway, what'd you get?
Does a 15 hit?
That hits.
Okay, good. For fuck's sake! 3 points of damage.
All right. Sort of. You take this absolute cleaving to the side of your arm, and you and hooves. You will see Sverkr go down, and then as the orc is turning away, you'll see the hammer, and he'll climb himself up the pommel, up the handle, standing. And he will sort of bring the hammer around his head in a full swing and send it into the side of the orc. And whilst you don't do a lot of damage, Sverkr, the shock is enough of a reaction to send the orc sort of back a few paces, using the sword to stabilize himself.
And that's why you don't turn your back on your opponent. Say very
Not
slyly.
bad. You know what? That's a point to Ember and a point to Terra for the knockout. And I'll give another point to Terra for Brockerson's amazing display.
I'll take this moment to help Zakaria back
I-
up.
I will first things first. I will take a bow to I forgot his name. The
Professor Lockett.
Okay.
Yeah, Professor Lockett. Then, as I'm bowing, I will stumble forwards. I will touch Zakaria and I will cast Spare the Dying.
Okay. Zakaria, you are unconscious but stable. And you will see two cloaked individuals sort of walk forward who were standing behind Lockett and begin to put Zakaria on what looks to be some kind of stretcher. And she will be carried away to the infirmary.
Oh, it was bound to happen again, I guess.
What would
Well,
the
at
three
least I
of you
didn't
like
get
to
kicked this
do?
time.
What would the three of you like to do now?
Is the lesson over?
Well, no, because the rest of the students have to go through the same test.
Yes. I will ask Lockett if I may be excused to follow Zakaria to the infirmary.
After that, I'll allow it.
Plus, I might also, it might also be good for me to go to the infirmary, you know?
He will allow you to.
I'm gonna turn to Lockett. If you need me to beat up anyone else, I'm more than happy to. Give him a slight smile and head back to my spot.
You'll see him kind of smirking. And Iron Shoes and Greet will sort of spend the rest of their lesson watching other people fighting. There'll be a couple that sort of impress you. In particular, that old goblin who can't be more than 4 feet tall single-handedly takes down a Goliath. Bringing out a whip and curving it around their ankle, he yanks it forward the Goliath comes toppling down. And the Goliath is unable to hit the goblin. Despite you swearing that hit should have made contact.
Fear the old man in a profession where men die young.
Sverkr, you and the two cloaked individuals will take Zakaria to the infirmary. She will be placed on a bed, and you will see the plague doctor that you are somewhat familiar with coming over, checking over her, before going over to the next room. What would you like to do?
As they pass me, I will just give them a nod.
They will stop and turn to you.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Just a few scratches.
They will continue.
I imagine as I'm saying that, I imagine I'm like kind of slightly wobbling back and forth.
Yep, absolutely. And a little
Are there
bit
any
of time.
chairs in this room?
I mean, there's hospital beds mainly.
There's
a couple of stools.
Yeah, I will take one of the stools and we'll sit on it, like next to the bed Zakaria is in.
Okay.
And I will attempt to take a short rest.
As you're sitting next to Zakaria, the doctor will come over and seemingly feed something to Zakaria. And then we'll come over to you. And in a single motion, they sort of grab your chin enough to pull your mouth open before pouring an elixir down your throat.
How does it taste?
Fucking vile.
I knew you'd say it.
You can't quite put your finger on the taste, but it's incredibly acidic. However,
Tastes like home.
you are both restored to full health and cured of your exhaustion.
Well then. It tastes even better than home. Holy shit.
And after a few moments, Zakaria, you will regain your consciousness and you will see Sverkr sitting next to you, kind of coughing a little bit, and you'll have this sort of slightly sour taste on your tongue.
Ugh. What happened?
Well, you want the long and the short version?
Did I get my ass beat?
Yeah.
Language!
Zakaria's just gonna sigh
fair,
and
we both kind of did.
shame.
But you know what they say. Rage is a great anesthetic. And someone needed to show that orc what's what. I'm going to just kind of like almost like subconsciously rub my jaw.
At least you landed a blow.
Barely. Didn't have enough strength to really do anything with it. Sloppy. Ugh. It could have been so much better. Stupid rules. One dance with wizards. Fucking dick.
Okay.
Zerker's just sitting there muttering to himself, like trying to come up with a good enough insult to properly articulate how he's feeling about his. I forgot what his name was. Lockett. Lockett, yeah. It's mostly like it's not good. It's not going very well for him. He's just trying to come up with a clever enough insult, failing miserably.
Okay. At the end of the class, Greet and Iron Shoes What would you two like to do?
Immediately to the hospital.
Alright. Greet, do you do the same, or...?
Yes. Because I believe now is a lunch break before the rest of the afternoon.
But you have an hour and a half-ish, and then the rest of your afternoon will be your personal studies. So, the two of you make your way to the infirmary, and you will see Zakaria lying on a bed, with Sverkr sat next to them. You'll also see the plague doctor seemingly looking through some scrolls at the end of the room, paying no attention to anyone in particular.
Right up to Zakaria, and just like, I'm so sorry. Are you alright? Sort of gonna offer a hug to her.
Zakaria is just gonna be wrecked with shame.
I don't see an offering me a hug.
I didn't flatten you.
Good. I wouldn't have accepted it even if you did.
I can flatten you if you want. And he'll like have this like slight smile on his face.
Sverker's glaring at you as he's once again subconsciously rubbing his jaw.
Save for the combat classes, you two. The medical area has a strict no combat policy.
Thankfully. I mean, good for him. Yes.
The doctor will kind of look over at Brockerson.
Sorry.
And then look back and greet. You will see Professor Lockett in the doorway, arms crossed, slowly walking in.
Do we all notice this, or is it just great?
Only great for the moment.
I'm not going to say anything at this point. I'm just going to assume, professor, end of class, checking on the students that got injured.
Holding up Zakaria.
Yes, I am. I'll be okay. And I'll do better in next session.
You need to work on that form of yours.
Yes, sir.
I'm here for a couple of reasons. Number one, Brockerson, Zakaria, those weapons don't belong to you.
Oh, right. Sorry, I will hand it over to him.
Yeah, quickly hand it back.
And you'll see even the warhammer in his hands looks a little bit smaller. Like, you're dealing with quite a large individual.
It's adequate craftsmanship.
I bet that dagger looks like a letter opener at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There was something else.
Oh?
Greet.
Yes.
I've heard rumors you've been having talks with some of the gargoyles. Is this true?
I was curious about some possessions we had during the General Assembly that had disappeared.
Stolen?
Not precisely. It was a simple case of they were there when the assembly started, and by the time the assembly had ended, they had gone.
What were these items?
Chainmail, a battle axe for me.
What a stuff for me.
And
Scimitar and some leathers.
how did you come across those items?
We
They were
purchased them.
purchased.
From the blacksmith that only opened today.
That's correct.
That's where things get complicated.
Are you willing to believe some weird magical thing?
He's a professor at this college, of course he is.
Well, I'll look to the others.
Honesty is probably the best scenario here. We had detention yesterday. We served detention, and all of a sudden it was today again. And Centaur's just looking at Locke with deadpan seriousness.
The stallion that kicked me in the jaw, as I said, I just, my thumb towards hooves.
If a professor gave you detention yesterday, that's against school policy. In which case, give me his name and he'll be expelled.
Yesterday was today.
There'll be a look of confusion on his face.
We served detention. We came back to our dorms.
First day.
And when we woke up, it was morning the same day. The first day of the semester. We still had the objects we had bought. We went to the assembly, and when we left, all of those objects were gone.
Zakaria, roll me perception, actually.
Well, and sadly, we did not get the gold we spent on them back.
Moment.
We're rolling.
That's alright. We have time.
Okay, I have 17.
I'm gonna message you something.
Heard.
That's terrifying.
It is. But hey, I could just not let the Jawbreakers legend, get around again. Sure, it didn't happen this time, but this time.
Give it like a couple of training sessions. I think the Jawbreak is just gonna be around. You're gonna be stuck with it.
Yeah.
Zakaria, would you like to respond?
No, I think I'm just gonna take notice of it and let it play out. Possibly.
So you're all telling me you're the victims of distortion magic.
Well,
No,
I would say victim.
Sure, if victim is exactly the right word, as you become aware of by some means. I had been talking with one of the gargoyles, and there was implications that this was part of. This had something to do with the headmaster, that it wasn't something that just happened by accident.
Gargoyle was this?
One of the ones in the library.
Wait, you mean that I'm going to almost to say something. I'm going to glance around this room for with the gargoyles that I know are in this room. I'll just look around at them.
Which gargoyle was this?
Oh, there's one in the library. It was very rude.
If they don't move locations, I'm happy to take you to the library and show you exactly where I was sitting in the gargoyle that was there.
Please do. Immediately.
And I'm going to head in the direction of the library. I'm assuming Lockett is following.
Oh, intently.
As he's following, I'm going to... Sir, while I was in the library, I was also doing some research on the history of the punishments, because I
Let's
thought...
not speak of it. You don't know what you're dealing with, Winson. Better it stay that way.
It was more there was something in the detention room that wasn't mentioned in any of the history that I
Better
read about.
it stay that way.
Right.
And
yeah, just
as
continue on.
As you're making your way to the library, what are the three of you doing in the infirmary?
So, anyone wants to head over to the cafeteria to get something to eat? Can't be the only one who's hungry here.
We should not have said anything.
Well,
Why not?
This is larger. We shouldn't. This is just for us. We shouldn't have said anything. We can't trust anyone.
well, I spent a lot of gold on my stuff.
I think we need to find a more private place to talk then.
The way there, we could pass by the cafeteria. Great plan.
If you're
As you
hungry,
say
go
that,
get food.
As you say that, Hoops, you will see the plague doctor look at you and then leave. And you'll hear a distinct clicking as he locks the door. You'll also notice the gargoyles turn to stone.
Do all of us notice this, or just Hooves?
Hooves specifically will notice the clicking in the door, the locking of the door. The rest of you will notice the plague doctor leaving and the gargoyles sort of receding back into themselves. Greet. You make your way to the library and you guide. Do you guide Lockett to the gargoyle?
I do.
All right. Describe to me how you do this.
I'm literally just walking straight into the library, heading down the rows of desks for the one I know I was sitting at, and then just gesturing up at the gargoyle that was there.
The gargoyle will look at you and then look at Lockett. And then in a moment, Lockett will toss the war hammer in his hand across the room, shattering the gargoyle's head.
Oh boy.
And its body will drop onto the ground, shattering into a million pieces of sand and dust. Lockett will go, pick up the war hammer, and leave. We will not speak of this again.
Yep. In character, I'm just going to nod and may I go to lunch now, sir?
He's left. He's gone.
Wait.
A few of the students and even the librarian will just be kind of staring at you in a kind of what the fuck was that about kind of atmosphere. Back in the infirmary. The three of you, now alone. The floor is open.
Awesome. This is in character.
They do not respond.
Just as I thought. I believe we just got the privacy that we were hoping for. Which tells me that we may have an ally in the Plague Doctor.
Like you trust someone who hides their face.
You'd be surprised at who you can trust just because they hide their face.
Speaking from experience.
I mean, I don't have much experience outside of this school.
Really?
A story for another time.
Well then, so...
Zakaria. I understand that there are things that you don't wish to speak of, but what can you speak of?
Sorry, I'm trying to think of like
You've
what
had
I
to
can
take your
say
time.
because
Believe me,
like
I
I'm
get
trying
it.
to I'm trying to figure out as a player what I know versus like as a character what I know at this point.
If you want to message me about like would my character know this, that's more than fine. Very tense.
It's like being back in the mind of Kritash, it hurts. Mickey, I don't know if
Mickey,
you're
you're
talking
muted.
to us or...
I am not talking to y'all.
That's
no.
okay.
That would be player knowledge. That would not be character knowledge.
Okay, heard.
Being very animated. This worries me.
No, I have to physically get my thoughts out into my hands, otherwise I'm gonna like not keep track of where I'm at and be able to actually like separate it. I just need like a minute and then I got you guys.
We've got all the time in the world.
So, Broxton,
theory.
when's round 2? Or is it round 3 at this point?
I'll, hopefully not for a while.
See, I do wonder if there's somewhere I can go to train just in my free time.
I'm wondering whether they'll allow me to build a makeshift forge in my room. Do you think they would be horribly against that, or do you think I have a chance?
I mean, something tells me as long as you don't disrupt the other people while they're sleeping, you're probably fine.
Find someone who can enchant my room to make it more isolated.
You haven't noticed that the rooms are already enchanted?
Well, but are they enchanted enough for an entire forge to go unnoticed?
Something tells me at this college that's very possible.
I'd have to ask someone about that. It is Doggo!
Did y'all start to have a character, like an in-character conversation between y'all two while I was currently trying to figure out what the next thing was supposed to be said as my character?
Yeah.
I turned y'all down, so I'm trying to figure out what happened because to me, like, no time has passed, but apparently y'all just want to continue on while I'm trying to figure out how we go. You
This
know,
is just something
like
that's happening at some point because it's very. That's the thing. It's very dead air at the moment, and it is annoyingly silent. I'm sorry, but we gotta fill it with something.
No, you're good. That's why
assume
I
at
was like,
any
hold on, I
point-
need to figure out, like, are you guys like actually having a serious thing?
Like,
Like, can I just like be like, hey, can we jump back to
we
where
are
we
having a
were,
serious
or-
conversation. It might just chronologically be placed at a different
At a
date.
different point, yeah.
Yeah, just assume whenever we're all going somewhere, you know, that is when this conversation actually took place.
Yeah.
There's so many jokes I can make right now about the timeline, but it's fine.
Timeline? Don't you mean a time, whatever the fuck this would be called?
Time
Time
warp?
squid.
It's a donut hole inside of a donut hole.
It's someone tried to turn a donut into a sunflower, and that's the timeline we've got.
I think Mickey got the reference. There we go. Yeah.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
So, Jesus. Okay.
Wibbly wobbly timing.
He's got nothing to do with this case.
He does have to do with me literally slamming my entire desk against the wall.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, I hit it with my chair. Anyways, okay,
Zakaria,
so Zakaria,
okay.
back to where we were at. So he had said, like, what can you say?
Yep.
So Zakaria is going to look at him and say, we can't trust anyone because we don't know what exactly is going on. And when we were trying to inform somebody who should be an ally, he looked ready to attack us. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but I very much picked up on the fact that we were becoming a threat to him. So we don't have allies. We can't trust anyone right now. It needs to stay between us. We need to figure this out.
Interesting.
I don't know about the two of you. I did not come to this academy to get involved in some weird magical bullshit. I'll look up at the gargoyles.
Nothing.
Not to myself, like, yeah, damn right. But
long year.
that's the situation we're in right now. Well, we can take solace in that if we wake up tomorrow and find that it's today again, that we know what not to say. Just been nice if I could have gotten to keep the damn gold I fucking spent. Well, that's the way it is. Sefri, you're muted.
I know, I was talking.
Yes.
Hmm.
Right. Well. What do we do now then?
And at that point, we will quickly return to greet,
Yep.
so that the others can actually have a think about what they want to do. Greet. As you are now leaving the library, we'll say, what would you like to do?
Probably actually going to skip on lunch and head to the greenhouses to think about what's just happened.
Okay. As you make your way to the greenhouses, and a route you are somewhat familiar with, you enter, and it's not quite the same greenhouse as it was yesterday. You would know that this greenhouse kind of shifts and changes depending on who's in it and what they're looking for. And if nobody is looking for anything in particular, it is a general serenity garden. There's this sort of miniaturized willow tree in the center of the room with butterflies sort of going around it, of all different color and species, as well as sort of summer flowers that make this beautiful floral pattern center circle, as well as a couple of park benches, or what look to be park benches. As you sit, as you ponder, you will hear a familiar voice. What troubles you, Wind Sun? As you
I'm
turn
guessing
around,
Professor Silver.
it is Professor Silver.
Oh no, he wasn't there for our talk.
I'm going to look up and just go, having one of those days where I need to figure out a problem where I don't even have enough of the pieces to know what the problem is.
I see. And they will sort of sit down next to you. Well, I, as a professor, am of the sole duty to help solve the problems of my students, especially those with house scale.
I know you're my house teacher and all, but telling you exactly what the problem is would go directly against something another head of house just told me in very clear and somewhat dangerous terms.
You've been threatened?
I was told explicitly not to speak of it after the teacher in question had decided to waylay one of the school gargoyles.
And why would they do that? There can't. I cannot think of a reason that a gargoyle will be executed. It's never happened before.
So, without giving you too many details, Professor Silver, because again, I don't want you to put in a situation where you may be forced to take a stance that you will be uncomfortable with. The gargoyle spoke about things that they possibly shouldn't have to me, and Professor Lockett took exception to that when he found out about it.
As a locket. I cannot think of anything that the gargoyles are forbidden to speak of.
At this point, I'm just going to try and, because out of all the professors in the school, she's the one I trust most, and just go, how familiar are you with the functions of the detention system at this school?
Oh, in and out.
Has any student or any teacher ever in the dungeons come across a tree that looks like and describe the tree in question?
Okay, so for the viewers, we're describing a tree with these sort of tall, almost silver-like bark with blue glass orbs growing instead of leaves, with butterflies and such going all around it. Silver will ponder for a moment. I've never heard of such a tree. You said it was in the dungeons?
We came across it in a day that we're technically repeating now, but events are occurring differently.
That is very odd.
Without giving too much information, here, have all the information.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Well, apparently, according at least to the gargoyle before it was shattered into gravel, this whatever may be occurring because of something the headmaster has willed.
Headmaster.
Yeah, that's when Professor Lockett seemed to get a bit weird.
Has the headmaster spoken to you? Summoned you?
No, I do not believe so. And I'm going to, because I cannot remember each name, I'm going to rattle off a full list of every professor we'd encountered in the day that technically hasn't happened.
Hmm.
None of those would happen to be the headmaster, would they?
If the headmaster has not summoned you, or if the headmaster summoned you or wanted to speak with you, you would know who they are.
See, that's the kind of thing I thought, but yeah, something's going on, and we've been given what, from what I can tell, is a rare opportunity, but there have just been a few oddities.
Professor Lockett's behavior strikes me as most odd. He's an egregious man, but he's never struck out against school staff. I will look into that for you.
Uh, that would be appreciated, but please do be careful about it.
I can handle myself, Mr. Winson.
There's also the matter of, so yesterday, and I'll look at her in the pointed fashion to say, I mean, the day that didn't happen.
He will attempt to follow your line of thought.
We ended up in with detention as such. We went to the town to purchase supplies for said detention. When we woke up this morning, right up until the point the assembly had finished, right up until the point of the orientation assembly this morning, we had those items. They then disappeared. It was implied that by the gargoyle that the items still existed somewhere, but not exactly sure as to where they could be.
And there was no oddities of any kind.
No. Orientation happened. We sat through it. We had the items when we sat down for the orientation. When we got up, we no longer had the items.
I see. In such a case, I will put out amongst some of the staff a missing items report.
Thank you. That would be appreciated.
Now, what I will tell you is this. If Professor Lockett has killed a gargoyle as you say he has, there will be a reason for it. And I can promise you that reason does not align with school intention or the goals of the Myrmidon. Be very careful around Professor Lockett. And until I come to you with any information that I think would be important for you to know, like your safety, act like this conversation never happened. Whatever you saw in the dungeon, it was intended for only you to see. The dungeon morphs itself to the Myrmidon's wishes, but there have been times where the headmaster himself has operated in secret. Whatever they wanted you to see, it was for you to solve. And whatever magic this is, if Lockett knows about it, and the rest of us don't, it could be very dangerous. Do you understand?
I do. There is also one other matter that I believe should be attended to, either possibly by me and the others that were in detention, or if you believe it is above our ability, you should possibly send somebody from the school to ensure that it either doesn't happen or it can be solved with less bloodshed.
And what would that be?
And I'm going to give Professor Silver the information about the cow mutilations and the murder of the farmer that occurred in the town.
I see. And this was at sunset, you said?
Yes.
How would you like some extracurricular activity, Winson?
I would like it much better if I was equipped for the nature of the extracurricular activity I believe you're implying.
I would like you to take up your first quest as an adventurer. After your lessons, head down to Silverbark, and I would like you to investigate this, and if you can, prevent this death. You can recruit as many of your fellow students as you like, and whatever rewards you receive from the people of Silverbark is up to you to divvy up. But if you are successful in return, all members of your party will receive 5 house points. Before you leave school, meet me at the carriages, and I will give you and every member that you bring along with you a token. That token will be given to the blacksmith, and they will provide whatever equipment you need, within reason, of course.
Of course. I would be honored to take up this quest. Sat wrongly with me that we didn't get to find out what happened will solve what had happened last time.
Well, now you know what to look for. If what you say is true. Meet me at the carriages the moment your final lesson of today ends. I will have your tokens ready.
Very well.
Now go. You need to get something to eat.
I'm feeling much better about eating now after our conversation. Not that it happened. And I'm going to leave the greenhouses as I finish with
Before
that
you
statement.
do, you'll see them sort of reach up into the willow and pull down a yellow-skinned apple that shines in the sunlight, and they will hand it to you. For when you need it.
Thank you, Professor Silver, and it's going to go in my pack for now.
All right. You may add a custom item, a yellow apple.
Mm.
We will go back to the trio in the infirmary, where the last thing that was said was, "What do we do now?" The floor is open.
Well, I suggest getting some food in our stomachs.
I've just had a realization.
Oh.
The last time I knocked you out, Bronson,
Yes.
you weren't taken to the infirmary.
That
You were cured on the spot.
that is true.
So why did Zakaria need to come to the infirmary?
Zakaria. What you don't happen to still have the stone, do you?
Can I check for the stone?
It's still in your pocket, where you did not leave it.
Is it
Yes.
It's not vibrating?
Unfortunately, I still have the stone.
Has anything happened to it? Last time by this point it should have
No.
gone off.
Well, like,
Yeah, no.
at this point it was vibrating.
Nothing happened. Like, it's
Hmm,
just a stone today.
I see. Well, that's odd. Stone that decides to read.
I have a theory about it, but I'm not... I can't be certain. I can't be certain until another couple of days have passed.
Very well. Let's hope that those days actually pass. Well, I still suggest we go and get food in our stomachs. One always thinks more clearer when their stomach isn't gnawing on your ribs.
Yes, fine. Let's go get food.
Damn it. Now I got a craving for ribs.
Well, you leave my ribs alone, and then I'm gonna scurry off to the.
I'll be right behind her.
I'm gonna leave that little one-liner there and get out of here.
Be right behind her. I might hang around for that. Now, is that door still locked?
As you come up to the door, you hear it unlock.
I immediately turn to look at one of the gargoyles. Are they all still stone?
Slowly, they seem to be coming back to life.
I turn around and I walk out.
And as you do, the plague doctor will open the door for you before immediately walking into the infirmary and closing the door behind you three.
As I pass him, I'll give him a slight nod. Just keep going.
Okay. And I'm assuming you three head to the cafeteria?
Indeed.
Yep.
Alright. As you make it there, you see that people are still, they're lining up to get their food, but you've missed the initial hustle and bustle As you're going
They
into
don't
the second
actually
block
get all
of
their
your break.
pies this time.
I was gonna say, you do see a familiar tray of pies laid out, and you could see what looked to be the students who couldn't quite afford all the fancy stuff and do seem to be getting slices of pie handed to them. What would you all like to eat?
What is on the menu?
What would you like to eat?
Are there ribs?
You go up to one of the silver domes, and as you place your hand on it and lift it, a full rack of ribs.
Does remind me? Does domes cost? Like how much does?
Would you like to take it?
Yes.
One of the cafeteria workers will come over to you. Silver dome, silver coin.
Cheers.
I'm assuming you toss them a silver.
Oh yes.
And as they take it, you are walking away with your silver dome. So, you
Did you say it was? How much silver did you say it was?
1 silver for 1 silver dome. So basically, the way this works is you can either take what is on offer, which is the pie, or you can have whatever meal you want from a silver dome.
Mm.
Zakaria, you're up next. What'll it be?
I'm trying to decide if I want to go for the pie or if I or if I want to use the silver dome to have a cube made, just a tiny little cube that is all nutritious, all filling, and just gets
a
the
good
job
berry.
done in like one bite.
So basically, a less aesthetically appealing lembas bread.
Oh, okay. I mean, in theory,
You what?
is that? I don't know if that's cannibalism or not.
Wait, why? Wait, why would it be? Have I missed something?
Yeah.
Wait, what did I miss?
Oh, it's his monkey.
I just want to throw the theory out there. I'm not
Oh.
actually God, Jesus Christ. Maybe another time.
You
Holy crap.
you made your bed. Now you can fucking lay in it. Fuck me.
I'm so confused on what just happened there.
Malachi just asked me if he can have a horse steak.
No, you cannot disgrace your mother like that.
Malachi, stop horsing around.
Oh god.
I literally can't. That's like half my personality.
What do you mean half? I feel like it's at least 2/3. Your torso isn't that large.
I want to take a long walk off a short pier.
Why not a short cliff?
I want to take a short pier
no,
off a long walk.
Because that would have to be in a video game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, right, you wouldn't be able to get up to a cliff.
No, Twitch TOS. Twitch TOS.
No, he wanted to be able to walk.
Twitch
Anyway.
TOS!
Anyway. No, the centaur doesn't actually want anything today.
Okay. Has Zakaria decided on whether she would like a slice of deliciously
Oh my
home-cooked
God.
pie or the cube?
The cube.
Which is literally basically a good berry.
It's a good berry, yeah.
Which
Just
I
less
already gave her
aesthetically
2
appealing.
of.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you understand. I just want it to be a cube.
The
Then
cube.
cut the berry into a square.
No, you don't understand. It needs to be a cube.
I guess I'll go for the pie then.
You get a wonderful steaming hot slice of pie. Would you like to sit with Sverkr, or would you like to not?
Fuck no, I would not.
Okay.
Oh.
You go over to Ponyboy. And Sverkr is
Nope,
the
I want to
little...
sit by myself. Can I just be
Okay.
my own person?
Alright, so we've got a dwarf sitting on their own because everyone's trying to avoid them. We got a tiefling sat on their own because she's trying to avoid everyone else. Malachi, where are you in this? Where are you on this Venn diagram of sadness?
Like, look, if everybody's sort of just doing their own thing, I'm gonna walk out.
And where would you like to go?
Honestly, I want to find Locket.
And where would you like to begin your search?
Are there any gargoyles around me?
There's always gargoyles.
Fair enough. I'm gonna address the gargoyles. Where would Locket be around this time of day?
He'd either be eating or he'd be training, knowing him. I think I saw him going out the library towards the stadium.
Thank you. I'll head towards the stadium.
Alright, you make your way off campus to the north, in between the mountains. And eventually you do see the arena. A large area where the school sports is held. You sort of make your way in, and as you're sort of going through the large sort of seating area that goes all the way around, you see in the center of this sort of sand pit almost, with pillars and spikes along the walls and weapon racks, Professor Lockett, training against what looks to be animated sets of armor.
How many animated sets of armor is he currently facing off against?
25.
25.
No.
Okay, so he's in a bit of a crowded spot. I will, in that case, call out to him. Would you like a training partner?
He'll kind of stop, look over to you. I think this is a bit beyond your grade, Fey folk. And he'll
Probably,
snap his
but
fingers.
you've
He'll
got
snap his fingers, and all the armor will just crumple to the ground.
quite possibly, but you know, you've got to get kicked on your ass a couple of times to learn.
There's learning from your mistakes, and then there's making stupid decisions.
You are correct.
I'd learn the difference if I were you, with the company you keep.
And who specifically would you be referencing?
The Hattersy, the Tiefling, the Dwarf. They're all trouble, kid. All of them trouble. I like you. You're strong. You know what you're doing. Don't waste yourself on people like them. You got some strong classmates. They'd all benefit from learning from you. And he's at this point he's sort of walking up to you slowly through the stands.
Unfortunately, I have the unfortunate disadvantage of not being able to work well with certain peers. And that's something I've got to work on. The
It is.
the tiefling has been tolerable of me. Plus, you know, she's of House Ember.
There are lots in House Ember. We've got the highest death rate, you know. Wanna know why that is?
Because you live in a fucking volcano.
More bronze little brains?
It's because House Ember gets some of the best and some of the worst. We've had all manner of hero. People who've slain great enemies. Kings who have conquered worlds. I've also had little pipsqueaks who didn't make it through the first day of training. But I take responsibility of them because I know the ones that do make it will live to be kings, champions, some of the smartest wizards in the world. That's Zakaria after today. I give it to beginning of winter. Should be dead. The Hadazee. He might make it to the finals, but they'll snuff him there. And the dwarf, he's stupid enough to pass. On his first real adventure, he'll be taken out by a camp of goblins.
Yes, I'll drink to that.
But you, I can see you leading an army. Or maybe you go back to the Feylands. Maybe you convene with your people. A royal guard of the summer court. Whatever it is. Don't pick allies who will tolerate you. Pick allies who, if it came down to it, they could kill you. Because it's that kind of strength you need in this world.
I agree and disagree. And I think some of them could prove you wrong. A wager, if you will. Zakaria will make it past winter. I'll make sure of that.
If you want to drag yourself down, go right ahead. The school was built on heroes. The headmaster, you know what he did? You know what he's the one we all follow?
Why?
So they say. He created the Myrmidon. And he led the army against the dragon incursion. When all the dragons of the world tried to take over, destroy us, to bring back their goddess Tiamat, he led the whole world in a single army under one banner, and he killed every last one of them. And then he made this school. Him, his Myrmidon, and some of the champions were teachers before they eventually died of old age. All to make more heroes just like him in case the dragons ever came back. ever found a way to resurrect themselves from the dead. That's the kind of person I want to make. Someone who could kill a dragon if they had to. Zakaria couldn't kill a dragon. Windsung couldn't kill a dragon. Brockerson couldn't kill a dragon. But you, with enough training, you could kill 5 on your own.
That's what it comes down to, isn't it? The training. Which is actually one of the reasons why I came looking for you. Is there somewhere where I may train in my spare time?
The jousting arena is always open, and the weapons are there if you're willing to put them back.
Thank you.
Worst case scenario, you can always go down to the village after school hours and pick up a quest or two. I'm sure they'll have a couple of wolves that you can test your mettle on.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No,
Folk?
thank you. That's all.
He will snap his fingers, and the armors in the arena will reanimate. He will crack his knuckles and his neck and run back down and continue fighting.
I will head off and start heading back towards the cafeteria.
Okay. Great. As you make your way to the cafeteria area, you will see Zakaria sat on their own, Sverkr sat on their own. No sign of Iron Shoes. What would you like to do?
Curse my luck at the fact they're all, split up. And then I am going to get myself some food.
All right. Would you like to take the pie or the silver dome?
I'm going to go with Silver Dome.
Silver dome, silver coin.
Yep.
And what is it you wish for?
Just a plate of fruits from home, basically.
And you get a wonderful bounty of exotic fruits that even a few of the students sort of look over, and you hear there's some that none of them have ever seen before. And where would you like to sit?
I'm just. I'll head over to Sverkr initially.
All right. Zverka, as you are tearing into your rack of ribs, sort of getting to the end of it at this point, there's a couple left that you're trying to savor. You will see a familiar friend walking over to you.
There's a good ribs.
I can see that.
You want one?
I'm good with what I've got.
More for me. Cheers. So what did Lockett want?
To destroy the gargoyle that decided to speak to me.
Well, I guess what's right. The gargoyle was a dick. around any gargoyles in nearby telling me to watch my language?
Oh, there's at least 3 staring at you, more so for the fact that you're insulting one of their kind.
Well, I mean, I'm not insulting all of them. Only that specific one was a dick. The others I don't like because they keep telling me to watch my fucking language.
Language.
Well, something. That's a lot of fruit you have.
I was craving something from home.
We don't have a lot of fruit back home. It's hard to grow fruit underground.
No, but I've heard tales that you have quite the penchant for mushrooms.
Yeah. I mean, mushrooms can be quite savory if you treat them properly. Though, I'm not a mushroom farmer. I'm, well, trying to be a smith.
But that aside, I did actually want to talk to you and the others when I can get the chance.
Well, Zakaria's over there.
Speaking of Zakaria, as you're tucking into your pie, what are you up to? Or is that just it?
That's just it. I'm just eating my pie.
Is it a good pie?
It's a great pie.
It's great ribs.
All right, in which case we'll go back to Greet and Sverkr for the moment.
I'm gonna assume that by this point I'm just finishing up the very last bites of the last one. Like, here's the thing. Sverkr was full like 2 ribs ago, but he kept eating because he's stubborn like that. It's like, I got all these ribs. I'm not just gonna throw them away. I got all these ribs. I'm eating all these ribs.
All right. By which point, slowly, you will see hooves, sort of on the other side of the campus ground, but slowly making their way over.
Oh, we're luck. Everyone seems to be approaching. So, I say we go over to Zakaria, so we can all talk. You flag hooves over. I don't think he'll see me if I do it.
I'm going to say, pick up my tray of fruit, look over in the direction of Iron Shoes, and basically wave my arm and try and gesture him over.
I'll head on.
And then sit at Zakaria's table.
All right. Zakaria, you are suddenly joined by Pony Boy, Greet, and Sverkr.
I'm just gonna sigh and I'm gonna put my pie down. What do y'all want?
Greed wanted to talk to all of us.
I've had some less productive conversations during our lunch break and some more productive conversations. One of the more productive conversations is going to give us a chance to right a wrong we saw in the other day.
Oh?
We've been offered a quest to go to town after the last of our classes and investigate and hopefully prevent what had happened. If you 3 are interested, I would love your company.
Well, not to be a sore spot, but whatever that was, it killed cows. And we don't have weapons anymore. I mean, hooves there basically is a weapon at this point. But I would feel a lot safer if I had something I could, hit something with.
That is going to be taken care of. We are going to be given tokens we will be able to take to the blacksmith to re-equip ourselves.
Okay. The best in the school must really have some deal worked out. Well, very well done. So, when did you say we were going?
Immediately after our last classes for the day.
Well, gonna sit for the preaching again then. Good. No.
I need
How
to
about you
think
two?
about whether or not I'll join you. If I decide, I'll meet you after our last class. Where will we be meeting?
By the gates.
What about you, Hoofs?
I'll consider it. Have to think about some things I just discussed with Lockett.
Well, it would be very good to have your hoofs on our side. Poor thing, whatever it is.
And slowly, you will begin to see your classmates beginning to get up, and gargoyles shouting at you, generally, to start making your way to your final classes.
Well, I wish you all good luck. And, well, I'll see at least one of you after class. I will make my way.
All right.
I'm going to pack any of the whole fruits I didn't get around to eating into my pack and then head to my final classes.
Okay. Zakaria and Ponyboy, are you two doing anything before you go your ways?
No, I don't think so.
No.
In which case, you two make your way to your specific class training, and that'll be where we end things today. And next episode is going to be an interesting one.
What the fuck is locking up?
I honestly can't believe y'all had a conversation about let's be careful who we talk to, and then Lockett shows up and you just tell him everything.
Well,
Interesting
to be honest,
play.
but by that point, like, it was like, yeah, okay, we've already said too much. We're just gonna dig us into a very deep hole if we try to backpedal now, so.
I did not approve whatsoever. I did
could
not.
see you shaking your head the whole
I was
time.
gonna say
Yeah.
I could see Mickey shaking her head, but the problem was Zakaria didn't say anything.
I know, because Zakaria is only looking out for themselves. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Wow.
What? Really? I thought we were friends.
You notice how Zakaria didn't say shit,
Oh, yes.
but they was ready. They were ready.
Mm-hmm. No, honestly, this did not go the way I was planning it to, but I think, interesting.
That's the beauty of D&D.
Yeah, I think, I wasn't expecting to kill a gargoyle today, but there we are.
Well, I mean, one always has to be the first.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill any, quite honestly. But there we go.
Well, that's Murphy's Law for you.
I was gonna say, let's all thank Greet for just selling out the gargoyles.
Yep. I love that Greets were like, okay, without saying too much, immediately proceeds to say everything.
I reached a point where I couldn't really just beat around the bush. I either had to tell her and hope she.
Yeah,
or
that's kind
I
of what
had to
happened with
just go,
Locket.
well,
See, you know what I'm really hoping for? I'm really hoping that we're just gonna, this next session, that we're gonna get to the little thing. There's gonna be nothing for us to prevent. We're gonna go to sleep, we're gonna wake up, and we're gonna do the day again. And then we're not gonna say anything.
Oh, you have so high hopes for us.
that might be your plan, Mickey.
Mickey, I have some
I
very important
hope,
words
I
for
hope,
you.
but I know it's not gonna go anything like that.
Mickey, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you need to hear this. Hope is the first step to disappointment.
And that's why I'm always disappointed.
That's why I'm always hopeful.
But yeah, that's all I've got for you today, I'm afraid.
I was great. I loved it.
Because now I need to go make a whole different set of maps. And the ones I made for today, we're gonna have to use another time.